Let's take a look at the rosters. They're brought to you by State Farm. Josh Smith, he's the cat. Hey, Will Bynum has been the best player on Bivouac so far. And in for the Triplets, unbeaten. Joe Johnson and Al Jefferson have been outstanding, and Alan Anderson too as well, giving them that outside punch. Here's a look at the rules here. If you're new to the Big 3, first team to 50 wins. You got to win by 2. First team to 25, we go to the half. And listen, there's no game clock, but there is a 14-second shot clock. You got to give it up. And you know what? We got the 4-point shot here as well. And you want to talk about Hall of Famers. Head coach of Triplets, Lisa Leslie, in her first year coaching here in the Big 3. Betty Lou from Uncle Drew. And she's done a great job with the Triplets thus far. Will Bynum, he will inbound it for Bivouac. Guarded by Alan Anderson.
Yeah, interesting too, because Bivouac, they want to isolate Will Bynum to get him in space, and see Josh Smith is able to get himself to the free throw line. But talking to Coach Leslie about that isolation of Bynum up top, what do you want to do? As we see Joe Smith trying to get in the middle of the paint. Jefferson right there with the slap down at the end. But she said, listen, we want to make the other players knock down jump shots before we give up this drive by Will Bynum. And if they're knocking down shots when he kicks it, we'll adjust. So let's keep our eye on that when they do go to that ISO up top.
So Josh Smith knocks down the free throw. At the free throw line, he's 1 for 2. So it's 2-0, Bivouac. Inside, Jefferson knocks it down. Al Jefferson said the thing he loves about this, he said, Joe and I will both double team all of our career in the NBA. He says, I love this now. He says, you can't double team, because he says if you double team Joe, I get to eat down low.
Yeah, that's right.
Josh Smith has come out aggressive.
Well, I think Reggie Theus knew that he had to get Josh involved early, because if you do that, it just opens up other things, and you do it in a number of ways. The ISO the first time, but then it was the pick and roll with Bynum and Smith to get that. You see Josh not allowing Joe to get any space right there near the 4-point arc.
4-2 is your score here. Bivouac on top of the Triplets. Inside they go to Jefferson. The kick out. Anderson. Behind the back pass to Jefferson. Jump hook. No good. Here's Smitty for 3. Yes! Josh Smith, welcome back home.
Well, you knew the energy was going to be there, but probably for both he and Joe, but he more importantly because he hasn't been playing up to his level of expectations.
Alan Anderson fouled for that 3, so he'll go to the line. He'll shoot 1 for 3 from the 3-point line. 7-2 is your score right now.
And Bynum right here a little late on the contest, and he gets him with his lower body as Alan Anderson is on his descent from shooting his jump shot.
He'll shoot 1 for 3. Got it. 7-5 now. Your score. 2-point lead for Bivouac.
And the Triplets, you know, Brown's going to say this, probably along with power, they probably execute the best offensively with different sets that they run. I think both Nancy Lieberman, she jump shot from outside, and also Lisa Leslie pride themselves on executing in their half-court offense.
That 3 too strong by Anderson. You know, Lisa Leslie said she drew up 15 plays and Josh Smith is red hot. Well, 15 plays for this team.
Yeah, with that one, you didn't have to play right there. Josh just went one-on-one. But the reason why she said she did it, she said, listen, you know, when I played, I could have went one-on-one. Easy, I could have went and got points. But I knew in order for us to win, we had to have sets that worked for everybody to keep everybody involved.
There's the isolation for Joe Johnson. Missed it. Will Bynum will bring it back. He'll turn, shoot the 3, too strong. Anderson, the 3. Yes, sir. 1-point lead for Bivouac. 9-8 is your score.
And see, I like that because it was a quick rebound by Jefferson. Alan Anderson came and relocated. Now, if you make quick passes, the defense can't recover.
Josh Smith is scoring at will. 12-8. It's a battle. Josh Smith, Joe Johnson. Advantage. Josh Smith thus far. 12-8 your score. It's the Big 3 here on CBS. Welcome back. We're in the ATL, live from the State Farm Arena. Hey, listen, you want your sports news without the yelling, the fake debates? Stream CBS Sports HQ, the free 24/7 network for non-stop highlights and news. Download the CBS Sports app today. 12-8 is our score. Bivouac on top of the unbeaten Triplets. And Josh Smith has all 12 of Bivouac's points. He's with Rat.
All right, Atlanta native Josh Smith, you're back in hot Atlanta. How does it feel to be back on the court here?
It feels great. I mean, it feels also good to be able to play against one of my former teammates.
And what are you making of this matchup so far? You're on fire so far. What are you making of this matchup?
I mean, we match up great with this team. I mean, they have a lot of talent on their team, and we have to be able to take each and every possession precious if we want to win this game. We're 2-0.
All right, well, good luck in the rest of the game. Fellas, that's what you call unprecedented access, even with a stutter. That's called stuttering unprecedented access.
Appreciate it, Rav. How about Josh Smith thus far?
Well, I mean, keep in mind, you know, when you start playing in the Big 3, you got to figure out where the niche is on the court, how to play with your teammates, where you can score from, and also get a rhythm. And right now we see that happening with Josh, because we know he can score the basketball. It's just a matter of time before it all starts to come together. And I tell you, coming back to Atlanta, playing, friends and family, got a little juice, feel a little bit better. Team is going to isolate you, get you the ball. Now you just got to go out there and perform, which we see early on.
And playing against his former teammate, Joe Johnson, both of them former Hawks. Here's a steal by Morrow. Out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Triplets. Here's the league founder, always sitting courtside, Ice Cube. And the crowd recognizes him. Got our first substitution. Chris Johnson is checked in for the Triplets.
1 second on the shot clock.
Johnson, catch, shoot. And they say off Bivouac, and it will remain with the Triplets.
And Johnson already making an impact, just hustling right there to allow the Triplets to maintain the possession.
Here's Joe Johnson working on Morrow. Backs him down. He's so strong inside. The little jump hook. Left it short. Rebound and in. That's big boy basketball.
Well, big boy. I mean, when he got a mismatch like that, he puts his shoulder right into the chest of Morrow. It's really not too much you can do without trying to double team. If you do that, you leave a guy like Allen Anderson and also Johnson, who can knock down shots wide open.
Will Bynum missed the jumper. There's Josh Smith. The board. Bynum's been out. Oh, ball fake. Drive. Uses the body control. And he'll go to the line.
But also, Bynum was smart. He saw that Chris Johnson on the closeout that he was going to be off balance a little bit. He gave him the pump fake, got inside, and on the rotation, Anthony Anderson just a little bit too late to get over.
Here's Will Bynum now. Played 8 years in the league. He's the leading scorer for Bivouac. Missed that free throw. Smith! Oh, he's everywhere.
You know, but now the Triplets, what they're going to have to do is match from level right now from an energy. That whole rebound and offensive rebound and putback was all about energy. Look,
there it
right
is. There. Stolen by Josh. Morrow. No, but there's Josh Smith. Who can stop this man? And one. I see you, Smitty.
One shot, fellas. One shot.
Well, if you're able to outwork your opponent, these baskets are going to come in frequent numbers, because right now the energy, the hustle is all in favor of Josh Smith.
Josh Smith has all 16 of Bivouac's points. 6-point lead. Told you these guys are former teammates, and I tell you, Josh Smith has been talking to Joe Johnson too thus far.
Well, he knows that Joe, second leading scorer in the league, has been pretty much having his way. But the way you offset that, an offensive player, as you know, make them play some deep.
Yep.
You know, they may not be guarding each other the whole time, but when you have that opportunity, you want to make Joe work. Expend some of that energy on the defensive end to see if you can slow him down that way.
Joe Johnson is averaging 23 points per game trails just Coutinho Mobley right now in the lead. And here's Josh Smith. Looking to complete the three-point play.
I think people forget, too, Josh Smith was an excellent defensive player, too. 2010 second team all defense, especially what really made him special was the block shots coming from the weak side.
Here's the drive laid up and in by Sergio Gibson. So Sergio Gibson with the lay-in. 5-point lead for Bivouac. We talked about those blocks. You know what? Josh Smith was the only NBA player in history to have 10 or more blocks in a game before turning 20 years of age. Gibson. 11 seconds on the shot clock for Bivouac. Being guarded by Joe Johnson. He gets a nice little push. There's a kick on the Triplets. This is going to be a matchup to watch here.
Oh, definitely. And Bivouac, they got to keep in mind, you want to be able to have positive possessions, because this Triplets team, as we've seen, Brian, can score in bunches. If you give up shots, give up opportunities, they'll make you pay for it.
Chris Johnson, he'll set the pick for Joe Johnson. He's going to shoot the 4. Hit one last week. Just missed that one.
Good rebound, cleanup rebound that time by Bynum.
And he's got a big man on him. Let's see if he tries to take him to the rack. Shakes him, hesitates, left hand. Oh my! Will Bynum.
I mean, it's always tough to guard somebody that's tricky like that, like Bynum, especially when you're a center, because once he gets up underneath you, there's nothing you can't get back and recover. You got to try to catch it and block it on the opposite side. But the hesitation right there, but then keeping the ball out, away from his body, allowed him to lay it off the glass. Johnson couldn't recover quick enough.
Here's Joe. 2-1 on the shot clock. Pulls. Misses. Leslie the board. 7-point lead for Bivouac. First team to 25. We go to the half. Here's Bynum. Step back. Kiss myself. Will Bynum.
Well, the hesitation that time with Gibson and CJ, or whether the switcher stayed, that gave Bynum that little space to be open inside. Oh, good play.
Oh, good dunk by Chris Johnson.
I mean, but in 3-on-3, it's simple. Johnson sets the pick, he gets open, rolls down, easy basket inside.
And Reggie Theus calls a quick timeout. You know, listen, Will Bynum is known for breaking ankles. He hit him with the Sham God shake last week. Look at that.
Sick with it right there. I mean, right here. And actually, he didn't even hesitate to the other side. A lot of times with the Sham God, you'll use that shoulder like you're going to the left, but that time it was just a tricky dribble. But again, when he isolates one-on-one in the middle of the court, just like with anybody, it's tough to guard. So you got to take something away. But here's the question. If I get up into him too much, he goes by me. If I give him too much space and he gets speed, now I'm at a disadvantage. So it's no easy way to guard a player the caliber of Will Bynum one-on-one, because he has so many ways he can beat you with his quickness.
You know, and it was interesting. He said he loves being here since it's his first year playing in the Big 3. He said because even though he's played 8 years in the league, he's been playing most recently overseas, said I finally get the opportunity to show my skills here in the States. And Will Bynum is with Rap right now. Rap?
All right, I'm with Will Bynum. Last week you made headlines, you made highlights. Was that a Sham God? Was that a variation of the Sham God? Break down the play last week that went viral.
I mean, I don't even remember last week. I'm focused on this week, so I can't really tell you right now.
What?
Focus on getting this win.
What are you going to do to pull out this win?
Whatever it takes. You know what I mean? It don't really matter. Whatever it takes me to keep getting Josh the basketball, because Josh is playing really well right now. It's just making the right reads and pick and roll.
All right, good luck. Ill Will Bynum.
Hey, Mike, he told you he's focused now. Last week is over.
All about the present. All about the present. CJ Leslie gives it to Bynum. 10 on the shot clock. Working on Allen Anderson. Drive, high off the glass. No, Leslie the temp can't get it, but there's Josh Smith. And the reach in by Joe Johnson.
Leslie right there being active, though. Again, those are the positive possessions. You get a shot, Bynum got around the corner, wasn't able to finish, but the activity by Leslie keeps the possession alive for Bivouac.
Here's Leslie at the high post. Challenged by Jefferson, and he knocks it down as Leslie. Bivouac 2 points away from the half. And a 9-point lead. The handoff, Joe Johnson. The kick out, Anderson for three, short. Jefferson blocked by Josh Smith. And he will go to the line. If he can knock down this free throw, we'll go to the half.
Well, again, what seemed like what could be a mismatch with Al Jefferson, but Josh Smith, again, we talked about the ability to block shots when he played in the league. Right there, it was all timing. He took the contact from Jefferson, but didn't back up and use his athleticism to take away that shot.
And we go to the half, and Bivouac with an 11-point lead on the unbeaten Triplets. That's the end of the first half. The score, Bivouac 25-14. We'll return to Atlanta right after these messages. It's the Big 3 here on CBS.
Big 3 basketball on CBS Sports is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. VH1 Basketball Wives. New season. Check your local listing. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back. You're watching the Big 3 here on CBS inside the State Farm Arena in Atlanta as we take a look at the first half stats. And Bivouac, what a 9, making an 11-point lead over the unbeaten Triplets. Brian Custer alongside Jim Jackson. When you look at that first half, Josh Smith came out with a lot of energy. He's the game-high scorer in double figures. But for the Triplets, who are unbeaten, Joe Johnson's averaging 23 points per game. Just 2, though, in the first half.
Well, two things. One, Josh wants to prove that he can still play, so he's back at home. Second, Bivouac wants to win because the Triplets are undefeated. So you got a lot of motivation coming into this game. And I know in the second half, Joe Johnson will be more involved. But once again, I think Josh Smith and Bivouac doing an excellent job of keeping the Triplets on the defensive end of the court, not turning the ball over, not taking bad shots.
Well, Bivouac, they ended the first half on a 13-4 run thanks to Josh Smith, who's the game-high scorer right now with 17.
Well, I think Coach Reggie Theus probably had a talk with Josh that said, now's the time. We need you in a big-time way offensively, but more importantly, we need your energy on the defensive end, and that's what he's been able to do.
Well, let's see what the Triplets can do to contain Josh Smith, who's the game-high scorer now with 17. The person in charge of trying to stop this guy is the head coach of the Triplets, Lisa Leslie, the Hall of Famer. She's with Michael Rappaport.
All right, Coach, Josh Smith is ruining this Sunday afternoon for you. What are you going to do to stop him in the second half?
Hey, this is about heart and effort right now. Like I told my guys, it's not really our offense. It's the fact that we're not matching their intensity. Josh wants it more. He's home. He has his family sitting on the front row. And, you know, that's the kind of heart and effort it's going to take. But we still have time to stay in this game. And we just got to go to ISO Joe. That's it.
All right, ISO Joe is going to be in effect. Thank you, Coach. That's the Hall of Famer. That's unprecedented access, fellas.
Yes, it is. Appreciate it, Rap. And you're right. She said the second half is all Joe.
But, you know, it's a good test because if you look at the Triplets as, you know, down there right there neck and neck with Powers, the two probably the most formidable teams in the league. They haven't been in this situation where now they have to respond to a double-digit lead a deficit at halftime, which is good because you want to be tested to figure out how do you get back in games. You have the experience, you have the ability, but if you don't match the energy of Bivouac, then you're not going to be able to pull out this game.
Here's Anderson. to Joe Johnson. Being worked on by C.J. Leslie. And there's a reach in on Leslie.
Keep in mind, if you look at this lineup for Bivouac, Josh Smith is starting on Jefferson. A lot of times he'll try to help and creep over. That's where Al Jefferson can play, I think, cat and mouse with getting open on the baseline. As soon as Josh kind of leaves, now you present yourself to get some easy layups.
They ISO Joe. Backs in. Jump hook. Good. Nine-point lead for Bivouac.
Yeah, very similar strategy that you'll see Lisa Leslie employ. Give it to Joe, isolate him, force the defense to work just like you see with Will Bynum. Isolate, make a play for yourself or for your teammate.
One on the shot clock. He's got to pull it short. Rebound, Leslie. Here's Joe Johnson. He waves it off. Bynum takes his candy. And in attacks. Kick out. Josh Smith open for three. Yes!
That's how you take advantage of great defense by Bynum, anticipating the dribble from Joe. On the penetration, Josh Smith made himself available to knock in another three-point shot.
20 for Josh Smith. Here's Joe Johnson. Backs his way in. So Joe Johnson will head to the line. First year here in the Big 3. Played 17 seasons in the league.
I love Joe. I played with him here in Phoenix. And unfortunately, that year he got hurt in the playoffs against San Antonio. Had the mask on, broke his nose.
Yes.
But, I mean, I loved this being with Joe. Such a quiet demeanor, but heck of a competitor. Talking about competitor, C.J. Leslie once again making things happen, not on the initial thrust of the offense, Brian, but when things begin to break down, there he is, always in the right place at the right time. But back to Joe, I remember him struggling with the fact that Phoenix didn't offer the contract right away. And I said, Joe, don't worry about it. Put yourself in a position where now another team is going to pay you. And that happened to be the Atlanta Hawks. And from there, it just took off.
Anderson, Jefferson, baseline jumper, too strong. Rebound, Joe Johnson. And there's a hole by Will Bynum.
You know, one thing Bivouac is doing, an outstanding job, is not allowing this Triplets team to go on a run. You know, they make a basket, okay, Bivouac comes right back, and they secure their own standing in the lead by coming right back and not allowing the rhythm to take place for the Triplets.
Bynum inside to Leslie, and he misses, but he'll go to the line. Second foul on Al Jefferson. You know, Bivouac also have been very active on the offensive boards as well. So when they miss, they've been right there.
But keep in mind, a lot of those offensive rebounds, or their offensive rebounds, comes off dribble penetration. Now Bynum is able to, or Josh Smith able to break down the defense. Rotating player has to come over. Now that leaves space open to get an offensive rebound.
Here's Joe Johnson inside. Oh, and Jefferson missed the bunny. He can't believe it. The lead is still 12 for Bivouac. Here's Josh Smith working on Anderson. And muscles his way in.
And they're saying maybe he didn't clear Josh all the way outside. We see the end of it here. Yeah, so it looked like it was a clearing violation.
So no basket.
No basket.
No basket. Here's Joe Johnson now. Drives. Missed it. They'll stay with the Triplets.
And right now, Triplets getting good shots. Al Jefferson misses. Joe Johnson right in the middle. Sometimes you go through that, Brian, where you don't have the rhythm and all these little shots that you normally make don't go in, but you still got to figure out a way to keep grinding in order to get yourself back in this game to see if you can win it at the end.
Reggie Theus is going to call a timeout. Talk with his squad.
I think it's a good strategic timeout with Reggie, too. Kind of get your breath a little bit, reiterate what the team wants to do in order for them to maintain this lead and win the game. And I think that's how you use timeouts. Even though you're up, still you want to maintain that focus and maybe put in a couple subtle plays that help you keep the momentum.
Taking a look at who that ball went out of. It looks like, is that Al Jefferson?
Yeah, on that left hand. Morrow came in a little late, but from that angle, it looks as though the last to touch was Al Jefferson.
Here's another look at this one.
I think the other angle is a little bit better because that one looks like Morrow may have hit it on that angle. See right here, because Morrow's hand is kind of pushing the ball to the right a little bit, and that's the direction the ball goes. But from this angle, does his finger touch it at the end?
Yeah, you might be right with Morrow.
That's a good view from down on the baseline. Let's see. Well, actually, they gave it to, they kept it with
they gave it Triplets. Yeah, so out on Morrow.
Yeah.
Triplets are unbeaten. These are two of the expansion teams in the league. Here's Joe Johnson. Isolating on Leslie. Pulls. And is that basket interference?
Yeah.
Looked like that was going to drop.
Yeah, it did. Al Jefferson did the right thing, but that time, once he got committed in the air and that ball took the high bounce, you know, he was all in, but it did look like he had a chance on the second opportunity to on the bounce for Joe's shot to go in.
And then you want to take another look. Here's the shot by Johnson.
1, 2. Yeah, it was right above there. So should be an easy call by
Yeah, no basket.
Easy call.
This is international rules. It would be good.
Oh, big time. Al Jefferson used the jersey of Josh Smith as a little leverage there as we get a little TV time.
Oh, I love it.
You know what I mean?
I love it. 12-point lead. Josh Smith finally misses. Allen Anderson now working on Anthony Morrow inside and gets the roll. Triplets needed to see one go in.
Yeah, I think Josh Smith that time was a little bit too committed to Al Jefferson, meaning Al was in the corner a little bit. Josh Smith could have been more in the lane to take that drive away from Allen Anderson.
Smitty misses. Follow, no good. C.J. Leslie again on the boards, and Bivouac is certainly crashing the boards.
Well, when you're going against an undefeated team, you just got to do anything and everything in order to win. So if that's defensively, you're knocking balls away. Offensively, you're hustling and getting second and third and fourth opportunities to beat an undefeated team, a team that's been rolling offensively. You got to make them pay for when their lack of focus and concentration on the defensive end is not there.
Josh Smith get a blow, gets stretched out, and Sean Williams comes in for him and knocks down a jumper.
Yeah, that's how you make your impact felt right away.
Here's Joe Johnson. And a reach in on C.J. Leslie. So Joe Johnson will go to the line now. That's the second on Leslie.
Yeah, Leslie gets him on the way down in good position, but it's right there across the shoulder. He did get the ball, but it's across the shoulder, then the foul right there.
1 for 2.
Free throw's good. Counts for 2.
It's only a 10-point lead. I mean, it feels like it's more.
Yep.
If you do triplets, you get you a couple stops in a row, able to take advantage of it. But right now,
Sean Williams.
Everybody who's touched the court has contributed for Bivouac in some kind of way. You know what I mean? Sean Williams just comes out, didn't play in the first half, but comes here, knocks down his first 2 shots once he gets in the game.
First team to 50, wins it, got to win by 2. Here's Joe Johnson. Again, drives off the glass. Joe Johnson is starting to heat up. Joe now in double figures with 10. Al Jefferson will have a seat. Chris Johnson will check back in.
Well, actually a good substitution because with the lineup that Bivouac has, Al's at a major disadvantage on the defensive end, and what Johnson gives you is the ability for him to guard on the perimeter.
They're calling a double dribble by Sean and Williams, and he's trying to say, no, Joe, hit that. Turnover. Here's Joe. He wants to go one-on-one with Morrow. 5 on the shot clock. Give him a little shoulder. Hey, that's an old Jim Jackson move.
Hey,
give him that shoulder.
Give him that shoulder. But listen, Joe was smart because he took a look to see how much time he had on the shot clock, and he knew once he got to the middle, again, that little bump, what that bump does in the chest of Morrow, just create the space so Joe can get that jump hook off.
Leslie, step back. No. Rebound, Triplets, and all of a sudden, Joe Johnson, and the Triplets are hot. He's no ordinary Joe.
What I tell you, consecutive defensive stops now allows your offense to be in a position that you can take advantage of it, and who better else to do that than Joe?
Joe Johnson has scored 11 of the Triplets' last 13 points. C.J. Leslie finally puts it in to the run for the Triplets.
Yeah, big response that time by Leslie.
7-point lead for Bivouac. Lead has been as large as 12. Here's Anderson.
Tough shot.
Leslie for 3. Yes! Big shot by C.J. Leslie, and Lisa Leslie wants a timeout. Oh, the play is heating up here, Jim, in hot Atlanta. Bivouac, Triplets, Q likes it. It's the Big 3 here on CBS. Are you ready, America? Sit back and watch the sparks fly as 5 guys, 5 girls compete for romance or get dumped. Love Island premieres Tuesday, 8/7 Central on CBS. Bivouac, a 10-point lead over the unbeaten Triplets, and the head coach of Bivouac is Reggie Theus, and we've got him mic'd up for sound.
We're ahead because you guys have handled all their sets correctly. You've made your switches at the right time. Space it. Gotta move it. Gotta move it. If you allow him to carry like that, nobody can guard him. Okay? Come on. You can carry. Can't nobody guard you if you do it like that.
The words of wisdom from Reggie Theus right there. Just the simple things in regards to what they need to do. It maintained this lead, and Joe Johnson, we knew eventually was going to take place. 13 points in the second half. They've been able to get that big body in the lead, in the lane, close out with runners inside, but yet and still, despite his greatness, Triplets still find themselves down 10 points. Can Joe, the rest of his crew, figure out a way defensively to take away some opportunities from Bivouac?
Great one-on-one battle. Joe Johnson now with 15. Josh Smith has got 20 for Bivouac. And they're guarding each other. Here's Joe now. Gets the pick. Rolling is Johnson. Dunks it home. Have some, Bivouac.
Well, coming out to timeout, an excellent play drawn up by Lisa Leslie to get Joe isoed in the middle of the floor and then into a quick pick and roll. And the excellent find and recognition.
Pocket pass to C.J. Leslie and right back at you.
And that's what Reggie Theus was talking about, too, in regards to his team. And he may not have been on the mic, but being able to respond, and I said it before, when the Triplets got to make their run, if they score a basket, you come right back at them.
Here's Joe. 4 on the shot clock. Turns, got it, and 1. 8-point lead. Bivouac 9 points away from victory.
Man, Joe, his demeanor has always been quiet, but his fire and passion for the game has always been outstanding. He may not say a lot, but his numbers speak volumes.
Knocks down the and 1. 7-point lead now for Bivouac. First team to 50 wins it. You got to win by 2. Here's Will Bynum on the switch. He's got Johnson on him. Pulls back. Missed it. Joe Johnson now. He'll have to clear it. And did he clear it all the way? Didn't. Now he does. Spins on Bynum. He's got double team. Throws it up to the rim to Johnson. We got a foul.
Yeah, Leslie just a little late rotating over, because if he rotates too soon, Anderson is open in the corner, and Joe can find him over the top. So it's like that tricky situation. The timing has to be right, and that time a half a second too slow rotating over from Allen Anderson, and that caused the foul.
So Chris Johnson, here in his first season in the Big 3. Played 3 seasons in the NBA. Knocks down the free throw. Counts for 2. And the lead is now 5. And the Triplets are in the bonus. So they get that basketball.
They get the ball back. So now the ultra aggressive going to the basket and pick up some foul. Never mind. Take the 3.
Yes, Allen Anderson.
Take the 3.
Oh, the lead is 2 now.
Oh, yeah. See, this is where it gets good right here. You know, 2 best players guarding each other. Now Allen Anderson has an opportunity to try to defend Will Bynum one-on-one in space.
Good D. Joe Johnson. Anderson. He'll pull up inside. Block. But the foul. And again for the Triplets, he'll go to the line and they'll get the basketball.
And Chris Johnson has a beautiful stroke from the free throw line. So you kind of figure he gets there and can knock it in. But how about Allen Anderson right there? Could have took the shot. Chose to dump it down low. Let's see if Johnson can take advantage of it.
Knocked this down. Oh, we got a tied ball game, folks. Lead was 12. And it's Triplets basketball. Here's Joe Johnson. Thought about the 3, or the 4, I should say. Anderson to Johnson. Missed it.
Shot that one. Allen should have put that up on the basket. Johnson had inside position.
Loose ball, Bivouac. Josh Smith is calling for it. Joe Johnson fronts him. That foul's on Joe Johnson.
And see, now for Bivouac, they got to understand their next foul now that they pick up, I think they'll be able to be in the bonus. So it's the same thing. If you got an open shot, you take it, no doubt. But you don't want to bail out your opponent, especially at this point in the game where the possessions are so critical. You don't want to have empty possessions right now. You want to get good shots up.
They go to the pick and roll. They get the switch. Big on little man. Bynum. 4 seconds. He's going to drive.
Reach. Excellent position that time by Johnson, but it's the reach at the end. Why? And you just take right here. Okay, you're in position. Keep your hand up. Make him shoot. Bynum going to his left hand over the top of you.
So Will Bynum shooting 1 for 2. Bivouac will retain the basketball if he makes it, and he does.
Big free throw.
Yes, it is. 2-point lead now for Bivouac. First team to 50, they win it. You got to win by 2 here in the Big 3. Bivouac 1-1. Triplets unbeaten at 2-0. Here's Josh Smith. Kick out. Leslie thought about the 3. Drives inside. Smith missed it.
Yeah, Josh cannot believe that he had that bunny and couldn't convert.
Here's Joe. Pull up. 3. Count it. 1-point lead for the Triplets. And Josh Smith is calling for it.
He's going to be smart offensively, though.
Working on his former teammate. Spins. Backs him down. Turns to that left hand. No! In and out. Here's Joe Johnson for three. Rims out. Allen Anderson. To Joe. No! Ordinary Joe. The Triplets are 3 points away from victory, and Bivouac can't believe it.
What's changed? What's changed, Brian, is the fact that now the Triplets are getting the second shots, the loose balls, the 50-50 balls that they weren't getting, 3/4 of this game. As Bivouac kind of settled in a little bit, the principles, they kind of let go. ISO Joe is there. Leslie has to give some space. Great defense, better roll. But once again, it's the second opportunities that the Triplets are able to get down the stretch of this game. Bivouac not able to take advantage of layups. You miss it. Really good teams, as we know, Brian. They make you pay.
15-2 run by the Triplets. Joe Johnson's already got 2 game winners. He's the game high scorer right now with 24 points. He did it in week 1. He did it in week 2 as well, and looking to do it here in week 3 as his Triplet squad trying to remain unbeaten.
Let's see, too, on this play with Reggie Theus. We haven't seen this yet where Will Bynum up top. They spread it out, and he goes one-on-one. We haven't seen it as much. They haven't went to it, but I know they want to go to Joe Smith on the block.
4-point lead, Triplets. Bynum with it. He gets the switch. Drives. Reverse
There it
block.
is.
Joe Johnson for the win. Too strong. Allen Anderson. Five now. 4. Wide. And that foul is on Josh Smith. They'll take it side out of bounds.
Okay, so it's out of, because what happens at the foul, the rule is the ball goes on the side, even though they're in the penalty. The next foul, they'll go to the free throw line.
Exactly.
Are they calling it now? It's a team foul. So it's to be on the side. Yeah.
Exactly. Side out of bounds.
The next one.
I think we know the rules better sometimes than the rest.
That's all right. That's what we're here for. They pay us a big bucks to make sure we're on top of it. Now, when we mess it up and it wasn't our fault, you know that, right?
Exactly. Here's Joe in the lane. Yes!
Hey, man, sometimes guys are just too good.
Yeah, man.
I don't care what kind of defense you got.
Here's Will Bynum. There's a reach. I talked with Joe Johnson at practice yesterday, and I said, what was the deciding factor for you to join the Big 3? And you know what his response was?
Right.
I just love to hoop.
Yeah.
And someone can ball when they call it hoop.
Oh, this hoop.
Let's go
hoop. Man. I get it, bro. I mean, it never really leaves you. Even though I haven't played in 13 years, I still shoot around. But when you're a hooper, you will always be a hooper. I don't give you 58, 60, 72, whatever it is. It's still up in you. Now, big free throw. Take advantage again of trying to get yourself an easy. There's the ISO right there. Great defense by Anderson, though.
Great defense, yes. Here's Joe Johnson for the win. It's 3. Oh, too strong. Johnson, the rebound, and the block on Bynum.
And Joe may not have made that shot, but because the defense had to scramble, a long shot, great rebound, Johnson able to take advantage. Again, the impact that Joe Johnson has on the game. He didn't make the shot, because the defense had to scramble. That opened up the offensive rebound for a guy, Johnson, who happened to be the right place at the right time.
Point game. Triplets, and they remain unbeaten as they come back from 12 down to beat Bivouac, thanks to JJ himself, ISO Joe, who ends with 26 big ones.
Brian, how many times have we seen it, I don't care what game it is, that a team has momentum doing all the little things, and then the breakdowns that cause you to lose games are common. It's the attention to detail, maybe some bad shots, giving up offensive rebounds, and that's what we saw, that little attention to detail that Bivouac had early in the game. As the leads began to slip away, so did their concentration on those items that made them successful early.
It was a great battle with his former teammate Josh Smith, but Joe Johnson, the star of the game, he's with our Michael Rappaport.
All right, Joe, in the beginning of the game, it looked like you guys were going to get blown out here. I'm going to just be honest with you. And then you guys put it together. What turned the switch back on?
Man, it's a tough league. Sometimes, man, you got to cut your guys out, get them going. But we started off so slow. And probably by the last 10 minutes where we picked it up, we started to get stops. And we had a little sense of urgency offensively and defensively, which was got us back in the game.
What did it mean to you to be back here in Atlanta on the floor?
I love it. I still live here, so to be able to come out and perform in front of these fans, it's great. It's amazing, especially competing against Josh Smith. So, anytime we're competing against each other, it's always going to be sparks because, we both want to win. So it was a great game. I'm just glad we came out to win.
Well, you're bringing a lot of joy to a lot of people. You're a fan favorite. Keep going. Have a great rest of the Big 3 season.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'll see you next week. Namaste, fellas. Yeah. Namaste.
Thank you, Rap. Hey, Joe Johnson had 24 of his team's 37 points in the second half, Jim.
Well, but it's a matter of him trying to figure out the best way to get offensively going. In the first half, he didn't have it, but in the second half, the combination of knocking down jump shots, getting that big body in the lane, getting to the free throw line, the juices began to flow. Now, offensively, he put so much pressure on Bivouac that it opened up opportunities for his teammates. Again, a guy like Joe that knows how to score, he knows how to get his buckets. He doesn't have to force it, but when they come in bunches.
Well, it was a 6-point victory for the Triplets. They remain unbeaten. When we come back, it's a battle of unbeaten. The Triplets gets the victory. It's the Big 3 here on CBS.